Dr. Kimberly Chang leads a national charge to address human trafficking as a public health issue. Her work to help federally qualified health centers recognize and assist victims of trafficking, to support survivors, to prevent exploitation, and to fight exclusion and marginalization in healthcare are putting the power of public health to work against this urgent challenge. Dr. Chang came to the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health with a mission. A graduate of Columbia College and the University of Hawaii's John A. Burns School of Medicine, Dr. Chang did her family medicine residency at the University of California, San Francisco. Inspired by her speech pathologist mother and stories of her family's experiences of exclusion as Asian Pacific Americans, she was always dedicated to the health of vulnerable populations. While working in a clinic for underserved teens run by Asian Health Services, Dr. Chang came to the realization that some children who came to the clinic were victims of sex trafficking. She helped them as best she could with medical care and available resources. While most trafficking victims seek health care, many physicians aren't trained to recognize or assist them. In 2008, one of her teenage patients was arrested under anti-prostitution laws after seeking life-saving emergency care at a hospital, and Dr. Chang realized that the whole system needed to change and that she needed to be a part of that change. Continuing to work as a physician and a medical care center director for Asian Health Services, she collaborated with community organizations to develop screening tools for current and potential victims of child sex trafficking. She helped local and national agencies and professional organizations hold trainings and develop strategies to help trafficking victims through support services rather than law enforcement. In 2013, she co-founded Heal Trafficking, a multidisciplinary advocacy organization to address the issue. Yet she knew that to magnify her impact, she needed a deeper grounding in public health and policy to focus on the healthcare delivery system. Dr. Chang was accepted to the Commonwealth Fund Fellowship in Minority Health Policy at the Harvard Chan School, earning her MPH, along with the Dr. Fang Ching Sun Memorial Award in 2015. For her practicum, she developed policy recommendations for federally qualified health centers to address human trafficking, and she immediately went to work with government agencies, local, state, and national associations, and community-based organizations to implement her recommendations. She testified about human trafficking to the Helsinki Commission months after graduation. In 2017, Dr. Chang was appointed to serve on the National Advisory Committee on the Sex Trafficking of Children and Youth in the United States. In 2018, she was elected to the Executive Board of Directors for the National Association of Community Health Centers and appointed to the American Public Health Association Committee on Women's Rights. Because of her persistence and advocacy, all of Dr. Chang's recommendations were put in place. Dr. Chang helped develop and secure funding for, and is now senior advisor to, the National Health Network on Intimate Partner Violence and Human Trafficking through Futures Without Violence to provide training and technical assistance to health centers. She's also an advocate for immigrant rights and works as a human trafficking and healthcare policy fellow at Asian Health Services, where she still sees patients twice a week. Dr. Chang has published and spoken widely, and has received many awards for her activism and advocacy, including from survivor-led community groups. Her work has been highlighted in national media, including the New York Times, U.S. News, and PBS NewsHour. She's even featured in a children's book by Harvard Chan School alumna Dr. Christina Rosenthal. She credits her family, friends, colleagues, and community with helping her make connections, secure funding, and move this important work forward. For her local, grassroots, and national policy leadership in addressing human trafficking through public health, the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health honors Dr. Kimberly Chang with the 2020 Emerging Public Health Professional Award.
Thank you, Harvard, for this honor. This award belongs to my community. I've been blessed to be born into an incredibly loving family. My parents taught my siblings and I compassion at an early age, and my 97-year-old Popo, my grandma, who grew up with so little, taught us boundless generosity. I've been lucky to work with leaders at Asian Health Services, witnessing how they bring the ideals of the civil rights movement to life every day. And I've been fortunate to learn from Dr. Joan Reed and the Commonwealth Fellowship on how to agitate for and transform systems for equity, justice, and inclusion for minority and vulnerable populations. I want to thank my family, friends, colleagues, and community for teaching me that we have a choice to see the problems in this world. We have a choice to take action on what we see, and we have the power to make a difference. May we all open our eyes, take action, and realize our power. Thank you for this award, and may you all stay safe and healthy.